Thank you for checking out This Week in Convincing Idiots. You're not going to be disappointed. For episode 165, we have a treat for you. We are doing 3-hour movies. This might go 3 hours, but we're also talking about 3-hour movies. Hey, is it too long? Do we need them shorter? Do you like them? We're going to give our opinions on them. And then we have the writer strike ending. We're going to talk about that. And then in our main event, we have fictional heroes. We give our Mount Rushmore of our heroes on the fictional side. All that and so much more on This Week on Convincing Idiots. You know what to do. Stick around, hold on tight, and let's start the show.
All right. Test.
Test.
Test. What do you call it again? Convincing Idiots. Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the Millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
And welcome to the podcast, welcome to the vodcast, welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial.
I'm Brian, Gen X.
And my name is Nicholas, and I'm a millennial. And this is Convincing Idiots, a weekly podcast of three friends representing three different generations. We get together mostly each and every week to get together to talk about nerd and pop culture topics of the day. So if you have not already done so, please go find us on all your favorite social media accounts. We are on all of them. You can find links to all of them on our Linktree. So just go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots Linktree, Linkree. You can also find that information and so much more on our website. That's convincingidiots.wordpress.com. Not only are there ways to find our social media accounts, there is a merch store on there. There are ways that you can subscribe to this podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, ways that you can help the show, learn a little bit about us.
Buy our merch.
So
Don't just let us touch your ears. Let us touch your body.
There you go. So, yeah, there you go. That's where you can find us on the World Wide Web.
Did you guys know that Abercrombie and Fitch started in 1892?
Really?
Oh,
So
wow.
it is younger than Brian's childhood. Okay.
Only
Okay.
slightly.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That joke doesn't make sense
Fun
now
fact.
because it wasn't on that. We talked about that before we started. So, but
Yeah, I'll show you. I was holding up a picture of me as a young lad.
Yeah,
here.
look at
So-
it's a lovely boy.
You're watching on video. Yes, indeed.
Aw.
So, yes.
fresh face little lad.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
right.
we were debating whether or not you had a moose on your shirt
Yep.
or something. We didn't know where that was coming from. So it did raise the
Right.
very interesting question: was Abercrombie and Fitch
older.
around in Brian's childhood or
And
not?
it
And
was.
actually, it was. All joking aside, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
Fantastic.
So, guys, boys, gentlemen, how have we all been? What have you all been up to? It's been a week. I missed you.
It hasn't been a week.
Brian,
We
what
were
about you?
subjected to your presence this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was a good Saturday. We all got together for Dean's son's birthday. A lot of fun. Went to a haunted house locally. I haven't been to a haunted house in probably 30 years. I was like, I'm just going to make the best of it. But actually, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to.
It was fun.
Yeah, shout out to a local company, Ghoul Brothers. So I think
Yeah.
it's a newer haunted house thing. But it was a lot of fun. The displays were cool. They had as we all know, they had a blackout thing, and you couldn't really see the displays as much. So I would like to go back and see the displays. I think they were very elaborate.
Gotta wait till next year. They're closed now for the rest of the year.
Wait till next year. That's
Last
right.
night.
But it was fun. It was a good time. Good hanging out with everybody. Of course, then we hung out afterwards for a while. That was good. Sunday went out to watch the piece of crap Dallas Cowboys and Eagles game with some friends. That was fun. Just kind of back to work this week. Off tomorrow for Veterans Day. So, by the way, if you are a veteran listening or watching, we greatly appreciate your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you and salute you.
That's right. You are the reason that we get days off like that and freedom and the whole thing. So we definitely appreciate that. So that's right.
Sure.
There you go. Yep. So Nick, how are you?
I'm well. Same deal. Lovely time hanging out with the dudes on Saturday. It was fun going to the haunted house. I had not been.
Your mustache looks good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's thriving right now. This is its month. Yeah. This is November, so it's thriving. It's doing well.
Sure.
I had not been to a haunted house in like over a decade. We took Robin and Dean's niece there when she was not much older than Carter. So we took her to one, and that was the last time I had been to one. So it's been quite a while. But it was a lot of fun, like you said, really cool. I mean, it was more intense than the last haunted house I was at, so it was really cool. And it was a lot of fun seeing our kids' faces and stuff like that, and then see them go through it.
They were scared.
They were scared. They were a little scared. They were world beaters at the end of it. Like they were like, "We did it!" But it was a little intense there. There were definitely some nerves afoot. But it was a nice weekend, and then Lane got to go out with one of their friends to see the Five Nights movie on Friday. So we dropped them off, and then we went and took Oliver to the Works out in Cuyahoga Falls. I think we've talked about that place before. It's a really cool place. They have like an arcade and stuff like that there, and the little mini duck pin bowling. There was a band playing, and they've got food and all that stuff, and a little speakeasy downstairs. So that was really cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have to text a code. Like it's by the bathroom doors. You have to text a code because the door is listed as a.
I don't think this is what the room you think it is, Brian, that you went into.
There's a door. It's saying. Labeled as a janitorial closet, but you have to text the secret code, and then they'll buzz you in. You can go downstairs.
You definitely went into a closet.
Yeah, it's downstairs. But it was cool. That was Friday, and then
you had to do a wide stance in the stall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's you got the tap.
Clue.
Then you go over there, and you got to do some stuff, and they give you the text number that you got to get on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They write it across your chest.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my weekend.
Good.
Dean.
Same. My son, as Nick's son as well, is 12 years old now. He didn't want to party, so we kind of did the haunted house thing. I mean, we had a few people over for cake, but it wasn't like a huge thing, like it had been in the past. Carter did want me to, come on here and personally thank Brian for coming to the party Saturday. Now, great. I think Sunday, I think we just hung out and didn't do much. Yeah, just kind of been hanging out and, being sexy and all. And just kind of keeping to myself being sexy.
Keep it in yourself. All right. That's cool.
You know what?
I don't know what to say to these. I don't do anything.
I drove Nick's son home from the haunted house back to Dean's after the haunted house. I just love talking to him so much. He's 12 years old. He had his first movie date.
Yes. Yeah, the night prior.
He was very excited about that. It just made me smile.
Yeah.
It just thinking back to being that age and being excited for that type of stuff, and it was really nice. Yeah. So he had a good time.
Appreciate that.
I was happy for him and stuff.
When you were his age, movies didn't have sound.
I wasn't going on any movie date in at his age. I tell you that right now. So that's good stuff. Yep. All right. Well, over the past week here, guys, let's get into some idiot reviews then. So, Nick, have you seen or heard or whatever? Anything you wish to recommend?
Yeah, just a lot of
sir?
stuff I had been watching. One of the new things I had watched was Loki. I finally gotten around to watching the first couple episodes of Loki.
Are you caught up?
So no, I've watched. I don't know, there's 5 or 6 now. I've seen 2. I've seen the first 2. But
Okay.
yeah, it's good. It's good. Keeps picks right up where the last one left off, and it's obviously a very enjoyable series. As far as the Marvel TV series go, it's up there. It's one of my favorites that I've seen.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
it's up there with like WandaVision. Like it's one of my favorites. So, but yeah, I definitely have been enjoying the first couple episodes of that. I finished up a couple shows I have been watching. I've already discussed kind of these before, but finished up season 2 of Shoresy, which is just fucking phenomenal. Which is a spinoff of Letterkenny, and I finished up the final season of Working Moms, which made me very sad because that. In the last decade, I don't know that I've found a show that I've looked forward to season after season as much as that one. So it was sad to see it come to an end. So I'm excited to see what Catherine Reitman, who's the writer of that show and the main character of that show, what she goes to do next. Guys, this is something I've been watching for a few weeks, but when I started watching it, we didn't really do reviews.
Me in the
we didn't do
shower.
reviews. No. Unfortunately, I can't review that to many people because you're always on your front lawn naked with a hose and you're kind of showing everyone. So everyone already knows what that looks like.
Gotta have a
But
hobby.
this is one that I've been watching for a couple weeks, and we all, Dean in the years past has discussed discovering the Hallmark Christmas movies because of Megan. One of the shows that I have latched onto in the last 5 or 6 years, in passing, that I tend to slowly pick up on the characters and learn who these people are, have been the Bachelors and the Bachelorettes, or Bachelor in Paradise, whatever. But right now, gentlemen, I don't know if you know this or not, this is the first time this season they have done a series called The Golden Bachelor. The Golden Bachelor is a dating show for
I saw the
people of
previews.
Brian's vintage, and it's very old people dating one another and trying to finally find someone.
You are so disgusted. Genuinely disgusted by that comment.
All joking aside, when she told me,
How old is the fucking Golden Bachelor? How
he's
old is he?
like I said, he's around your age. He's like 70, something like that, 75,
Right.
something like that. Anyway, regardless, his name is Gary, by the way, and I got to tell you, he is a lovely man. So when Robin told me they're making a Golden Bachelor, I'm like, that's how silly is that? Like, that's crazy. So I start watching this show, and it is just wonderful. Like, it is so wholesome. All of the stuff that you see on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette and all these people being douchebags, there's always somebody that starts shit and starts trouble. Not on The Golden Bachelor. Everybody's so supportive of each other. And this gentleman, Gary,
Because they can't see each other.
He's Bluey in human man form. He's Ted Lasso in human man form. He is the purest, most wonderful man ever. He's so caring and just amazing. And I just want him to find happiness. Honestly, The Golden Bachelor is very wholesome television.
So he reminds you of me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even fake a joke to draw a guideline. He's absolutely polar opposite of you. He is so wonderful. It's just like every word from his mouth is so eloquent and lovely and caring. He's amazing. And the women are amazing, and they're supportive of one another, and they all cry together about how their husbands are dead. It is just amazing.
Old menopause.
Yeah, it's but no, it's a lovely watch. And if you're into that sort of thing, I'll tell you what, if you gave The Golden Bachelor just one episode, you'd be on board. I'll tell you what. So
this is a lovely watch too.
That is a lovely watch. What? Okay. So yeah, I watched The Golden Bachelor and I finished up some shows, and there you go. There's my reviews.
I bet they'll do more of those. I think this is.
I think so.
I hear a lot what you're saying as well. It's such a
Not
hit.
to mention,
It's like you say. It's just nice people trying to find love. Not all this ridiculous, moments just for television type of deal. I don't know. So that's
not
good.
to mention a lot of the people, honestly, that probably their largest demographic for like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette are like probably women mostly, but people in their late 40s, 50, I bet 40 and 50-year-olds watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. So giving them The Golden Bachelor is just, it's just a different take on the same type of thing. But it really, I mean, it's fun to make jokes about stuff, but like it's really, it's an interesting twist on that, because that The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, these shows have been going on for, I don't know, 20 years or more. I don't know. So it's kind of cool that they have like a different version of it, but it's very nice. It would be fun if somebody from one of the early seasons of The Bachelor, The Bachelorette never did find somebody, and then they got to be on the Golden Bachelor, like all these years later. That'd be kind of cool.
There you go.
Happen. That'll happen. It'll happen in time. If that show stays on the air, you watch something.
That's Christy C from season 2 of The Bachelorette. Oh my god. Yeah.
Those shows like that are like you said, they really capture kind of what's going on, like all relative, all the current TV shows and the popular culture shows like that. They're all very hip, right? So,
you're gonna try
to make a hip joke here?
He's working on it. He just lost it in the middle, and
no, well, you just ruined it. No, if you jump in with the
next stop with the Golden Bachelor, I forgot. I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Call me when the next episode is the Golden Shower, and then I'll watch.
So, all right, Dean. Well, what have you been watching?
Loki.
Okay.
Tonight is what the final episode. We can't talk about it. Because
don't talk about the Mandalorian or Ahsoka in front of me either.
Yeah, no shit.
Or Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Or the Winter Falcon. Yeah, I can't. I want to. Don't spoil it. I'm on episode 3.
Well, that's why we can't talk about the movie Jaws. He hasn't seen it yet. We're waiting.
I think I've seen that one.
No, Loki's been fantastic.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Jaws.
Maybe. But I am continuing to watch the show called The Bodies on Netflix. I talked about it last week. If you haven't seen it, it's really, it's right up in my wheelhouse. It is about time travel, and it is about like a murder mystery. You have like 4 different generations. One in the 1890s.
Who pissed on this dead person?
Well, that's another movie
right up your alley.
I'm not allowed to review that one. No, but 1890, 1940 something, 2023, and then 2051. All of the detectives in the said times find the same body. Not that they're the actual body itself, and you start from there. Then you got to find out why, how this is happening, and what's going on. Things become intertwined with the stuff through time, and it's a fantastic show. It's one we really have to keep an eye on and really focus. You cannot be doing something else. You know what I mean? It can't be a background show. Like a lot of things are happening, little details that are happening to get you to the next, timeline, so to speak. But I highly recommend it. It's The Bodies on Netflix. That's all I got.
Just like the show, we expect every fucking second of your attention when you listen to the show.
Don't even have us on the background.
If you're driving,
nope.
That's right. If you're driving, pull the fuck over right now.
Stare at your phone.
Stop. Listen.
Learn.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yep. That's right. I have been watching. Of course, I've been watching Loki as well. Looking forward to watching the finale probably later this evening. We're shooting this on Thursday, the 9th of November. I've been going through Fear the Walking Dead Season 8. I think I mentioned this already. This is the final season of that offshoot of The Walking Dead. A pretty intriguing storyline. There's like 8 to 12 episodes, something like that. So I'm working through those. It's interesting. Again, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, you probably enjoy it. It's on AMC streaming for free. And I watched Pain Hustlers on Netflix. Yeah. This is the new movie, 2023.
Oh, good.
Emily Blunt, Chris Evans, Andy Garcia, Catherine O'Hara. A lot of names in this. It seems to be kind of loosely based on the Purdue, like the Sackler family type of thing with the opioids, sort of. But Emily Blunt gets a job working as a drug sales person with Chris Evans as her mentor. And they make it big, and then she starts to...
That girl is just charming as fuck, isn't she?
She's great, man. And Chris Evans is good in this role. He's kind of a slime ball, drug salesperson. Andy Garcia is a really interesting character. He's like a nutty owner of the company, the doctor that helped invent this drug. So it's they're selling a drug to treat people's cancer that winds up being addictive and harmful and this and that and the other. So, and then she kind of wrestles with that and everything. So, but it's good. Yeah, it's a dark comedy. There's some good stuff in there, but it's also some very serious things also. But yeah, check out the Pain Hustlers on Netflix. Pretty good movie. About 2-hour watch. Not rated very high on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, but I don't care. It was an entertaining, fun movie. Again, if you like Chris Evans, Emily Blunt, and those people, just check it out and have some fun with it.
A lot of people say that Nick is like the Emily Blunt of podcasts. I never really understood what that meant.
Yeah.
And then he came out with just the mustache, and I'm like, oh, charm, sophistication.
Absolutely.
Not that she has a mustache. I guess that came out wrong. She does not have a mustache.
Emily Blunt. Yes. How could I have been so blind?
No, I'm just saying is you exude charm and sophistication.
I appreciate that.
That's right.
With your mustache.
Yeah, thank you.
That's right. He's no fucking Golden Bachelor.
No,
close.
No one's Gary, but I can try.
He's the Golden Bachelor of this podcast. Yeah. It's in many respects.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's high praise.
Yeah.
It's high praise. It's very caring and lovely of you to say, Brian. I really appreciate that.
See?
Yeah.
See, there you
Kind.
Wonder if you can consider such a bachelor like a hero or something like that.
You might.
That's right. That's right. Is there a joke in there somewhere?
No, I was giving you guys a leeway.
He was trying to tie in. We just left him there.
Oh,
just left him there.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, Dean's trying to.
Yeah, I'm trying to help here. And
I wanted him to sit in it. I knew exactly what you're doing. I just wanted you to sit there.
I see.
Good, let's not do anything to help advance the show.
Yeah, Dean's trying to string together a segue here. So yeah, so we are our main topic this evening is pop culture heroes. We'll talk about that later. However, we're going to take a break and come back with some more charm
and have a serious talk with Dean
and talk about. That's right.
Yeah.
Talk about the pop culture headlines and our Ask an Idiot segment this week,
and inform these two that we're actually doing a show.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. All right. We'll be right back after the break.
Four, three.
Welcome back to Convincing Idiots. More charm and hip jokes coming at you. Right. Or attempted hip jokes. Or attempts to be hip. Or attempts to have
broken hip jokks.
Or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all were stealing my bits, motherfuckers.
That's right.
You ain't using your bits. I can steal them if I want to.
All right, so some pop culture headlines here, guys. So one of the biggest pop culture headlines is the Hollywood actors strike. Looks like it's coming to an end. There is a tentative deal out there now.
Midnight tonight. As you're hearing this, it will be. Yep. As you're hearing this, it will have been over for a few days.
Okay. So it looks like they're getting a lot of the requested demands, including, of course, more money. So money's always comes into play. That includes more revenue for streaming, and they also have protections on AI. So they are not. No one could use their AI likenesses without their approval, which makes sense anyway.
Right.
Those are a couple of things that I saw, and then on the other side,
price goes up. Netflix going up $1. Got that email.
Well, is it?
Yeah.
Or are you just saying it's okay? I mean,
no,
that's what
we got the email yesterday.
Okay. Well, that's what's going to happen.
So we're raising your price. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Right.
That's right. Same
wanna
thing we
watch
talked
a
about with
lot
the
of
writer's
games.
strike. Writer's strike coming to an end, and people are saying sooner or later, the extra cost is going to be passed down to the consumer, and with, like you say, higher streaming prices. Who knows, right? So, also a byproduct they say too is probably cut production. So they're just, yes, you're an actor in you could make money doing that profession, but what is out there will be less to do because people that get hired on to do those jobs will have to make more money. So it's like, there's always a give and take. There's no way Hollywood is going to maintain, of course, the same number of shows and movies as they do today and pay people more money to do them. It's just not going to happen. They're going to maintain a certain
the
profit
executives,
level.
the higher ups, aren't going to take a pay cut. That's bullshit.
Hell no.
So, I mean,
No. Yeah, Bob Iger's like, I'd be like, you know what? I'm good. Just cut my salary and give it to
you guys,
the actors, whatever. Yeah,
we care about the public and our consumers. Let's pass the savings to them.
That's right. Exactly. And then, of course, maybe this, as we talked about with the writer's strike as well, some of the positive byproduct could be too that, there's less stuff out there being made, but maybe it's of a higher quality. So, Dean, what are your thoughts on all this? Are you all for, would you it's the same feedback way before, but what do you think about what do you think about all this? Do you think we're going to see less production? Is it going to be better quality? Who knows? What do you think about all this stuff?
I would hope that they are going to be more strategic, and not just throw everything up against the wall. Put some thought into it. I mean, you need to have those ideas and those shows, movies, whatever, that you can throw up against the wall, hope it sticks. But at a certain point, you're just bombarding the public with everything, and you could scale it back, save some money. Again, that's a double-edged sword because those people, there are actors and people on the sets of those films and everything that are getting paid. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, who am I to say in that instance, not being in that industry, but like we said before, we're going to get stuck with the bill no matter what. Mm-hmm. And essentially, as we should. I mean, everything goes up. Inflation happens. We are the ones enjoying it, or supposed to be enjoying it. So, I mean, I know I just danced around the question, but it's not an easy yes or no, black or white. I'm glad 100%. Let me say that. I'm glad 100% that they got their deal, that they're going to get paid, especially the AI likeness. That should have been a given, but it's weird that it wasn't.
Right.
But I'm glad that some of these kind of side characters, side actors, whatever you want to call them, are going to get their just due and their pay. That's a great thing. Because like I've said in the past, it's not a lot of these actors. Only a small handful of actors are rich. Some of them are living paycheck to paycheck, going from audition to audition, trying to make rent.
Sure. For
us, really. So I'm glad they're getting paid. So, and the savings will, well, at least the higher ups will get their money. So
yeah, that's good. They got to eat too,
Right.
Yeah.
and caviar ain't gonna fucking uncan itself.
Right. Think of them. Yeah.
Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, similar sentiment. You know what I mean? It's good for them. I'm glad that they're protected and that they've got their deal and everything like that. The actors, that is, they deserve that. They are the talent after all. And kind of like Dean said, I'm like we've talked about it before. I wouldn't hate if there was less stuff out there. There's just so much content, and maybe not all of it's good. But like you said, you bring up a good point, Dean. Who are you to say who gets to work and who doesn't, or you know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot of you think these people in these Netflix original Christmas movies or Hallmark movies or whatever, they'd be getting a lot of work. You know what I mean? There's a special niche area for people in those types of films. They're not going to be landing the big roles.
Somebody loves those movies. Somebody watches that movie and goes, fuck, that is
my wife
so
does.
amazing. Right.
She watches them all the time.
So something is, like they say, there's someone for everyone, right? So all these movies and all these shows out there, somebody loves that fucking movie. The shit thing about it for me, like I've watched some of these Netflix shows and I've kind of stopped watching them because I don't think that they're going to give me another season. Like, why do I get vested in these characters in this story only to be canceled? And especially Netflix. I know that 99% of it's going to get canceled after one season. So why even bother watching?
Yeah. Yeah. But, absolutely. I mean, I just think that's only fair for them. And, honestly, like, just like anything, you complain about the prices enough. This is not a necessity. If you don't want to pay $1 or $2 more a month, like then cancel the service. Nobody's making you watch it. Nobody's making you have it.
Unless it's this podcast, we're making you listen.
Yeah, and pay for it.
That's
you should pay for it.
Right.
You really should.
Yeah.
My
Well,
son, he's got a hole in his socks. I can't afford socks. Come on.
Right.
Help us out.
It's almost Christmas. Carter needs new socks. Please. Come on. So what about you, Brian?
Eats portage. That's all.
No, I'm with you guys. I mean, I think some of this too. I hate to say it, but some of these decisions, if there's less work to do, frankly, it will certainly increase the competition of those in the industry, as it would any industry. If there's only so much, talent or whatever to go around, and may, in some respects, too, not only raise the quality of the productions that are out there with the writing, and there's this less things to focus on, so more people can, be hired onto one job, I guess, if you will, really increase the production value. But, frankly, it may increase the acting talent as well, because it's, people that's going to get these jobs are going to be probably at a different level.
You would hope.
Because they're more talented. Yeah, you would think so, Yeah. So it does hinder our plan, though. We were all set to sign Daniel Radcliffe to replace Dean. Nick, I know you and I were really working hard on that deal.
Yeah,
and, I guess that goes right out the window.
Yeah.
So, but
I get that.
That's okay. That's all right. Yeah.
Instead of Harry Potter, we get Harry Bottom. Just Dean.
Yep. Yep.
I like to think myself as a top, but okay.
No. I don't think so. I think we both know that's not the case.
That's fair.
But yes, more jobs to go around and all that stuff. I mean, that's, like you said, I mean, if somebody's working on their craft, and, who knows? Some of these people that are in these other, smaller roles or whatever, I mean, maybe they hone their craft. Maybe they step in to get a good opportunity and they hit their stride and they end up making a name for themselves. Who knows? But more jobs to go around in the business probably is not a bad thing for people in it. That can actually be true for a lot of different industries. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously the further the pool, I mean, the cream will always rise to the crop. The cream will always rise to the top, as the Montana would say. Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, the people that are good at their craft are going to hone in on that. And another industry that's probably going to be taking a bump here in a little bit, and I'm going to tell you about it because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see a more perfect time to bring you the Taylor Swift update than right this very moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Millennial Nick, joining you from the Swiftie Central newsroom, bringing you the Taylor Swift update, all things, items of the day, and all things Tay-Tay. That's right, Millennial Nick brings you the Taylor Swift Report. Gentlemen, as you well know, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship is going quite strong. In fact, I read as early as just this morning, people close to Tay-Tay are saying, rumors are swirling about that perhaps, maybe, just maybe, wedding bells could be in the future. Now, guys, I know, even Dean, right? We all know Taylor. We love Taylor, but these relationships, no one seems to be good enough for Taylor. Let's just be real. That's what it is. These ones don't last because they don't ever seem to be good enough for Taylor. And honestly, I mean, who is? But these are, again, just rumors. However, early projections are showing that if in fact, Taylor and Travis, Tay-Tay plus Trav forever, if it happens,
we just coined that phrase.
That's right. Tay-Tay plus Travi forever. That's right. If this actually does happen, projections show that jobs in the industry of the wedding business are going to go through the roof. That's right. So if you're in the business of DJing or making cakes or wedding dresses, anything of the like, not for Taylor's wedding necessarily, but because of Taylor's tremendous influence on pop culture and the economy as we know it. If Taylor says yes to the dress and she decides that marriage is for her, how many of us amongst us who have perhaps been skeptical in the past, where we go Taylor, we go all. And if we see Taylor tie the knot, why then can't we? I think a lot of us Swifties will be following suit and tying the knot as well. So stay tuned for more. Believe me, if anything happens with Tay-Tay and Travi, I will immediately have the update for you. I will be following this very closely for this edition of the Swiftie Central News. I am Millennial Nick, and you're welcome.
Excellent.
Yes. Yes.
It may even motivate Millennial Nick to get married, Dean.
Perhaps. Might. I just might. I don't know. Yeah. If Taylor's going to do it, I trust her. I trust her judgment more than I trust my own. So yes.
There's certain things you need to give young Nick before he runs down that aisle. Maybe like some insurance, or is that assurance? Right here. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave. Close of day. Rage against the dying of the light. Hold on. Wrong script. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located right there in Barton, Ohio.
Tell me about Taylor Swift.
They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit Blake Insurance LLC for your free 5-minute quote today. What? I'll say it again. People in the back didn't hear me. Free 5-minute quote today.
And when you do,
that's how I do it.
Tell them the idiot say.
Oh yeah, tell them the idiot said.
I was like, this isn't finished. Why does he act like it's finished? It's not finished. He didn't do the thing.
I didn't tag it up. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
When you do, tell them that Brian told you to call.
That's right.
That's right.
Not Nick
specifically.
That's Brian. He's the professional one. We're doing stupid bits over here.
Your bits are stupid.
I've been hearing that since I was little.
All right. Well, Dean, you talked about. Nick, you saw Five Nights at Freddy's. Excuse me. So
yes,
that movie is doing pretty well at the box office right now.
It is.
Another movie that just dropped, which may overtake that movie, is the new Martin Scorcese film. Was it something with a killer moon? I had it right here in front of me. I apologize here. It was
Killer of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon, something like that.
You're very close. Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flowers of the Killer Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, Lily Gladstone. A lot of people in this movie.
Joey Gladstone's in that movie?
Yes. How about that?
Cut it out. It's crazy.
The movie clocks at about 3 hours. Okay. So, and more movies, like Oppenheimer, there's been, more and more of these, even superhero movies, getting longer, 2.5 hours, 2 hours.
I heard there was a beer called Oppenheimer, and I love that name for a beer. I just want to mention that.
Fantastic.
That's great. That's great. So we're getting into our Ask an Idiot segment here, guys. So, are you a fan, especially in the movie theater? These big blockbuster type movies that are 2.5, 3 hours long, or is it just getting ridiculous how long these movies are? Some of these movies are anymore, or does it simply just depend on the film? As long as it's a good storyline, It's fine. You don't really pay attention to the length of the movie. I don't know. There's just some combination of these things here. So, I don't know. Nick, let's start with you. What do you think about these big blockbuster type movies? Are you a fan of these long movies, or what is your take on all this stuff?
I think
Nobody
with
cares,
anything,
Nick.
it has to do with the substance of the movie. If it's a good movie, I'm all for it because they're going to charge you the same for a 3-hour movie as they would a 90-minute movie. They all
Like
cost
a
the same,
hooker.
so you're getting more for your money, right? So as long as the product is good, that's fine. If you lock me in a 3-hour movie that's a piece of shit, then that's going to suck a little more. But yeah, I mean, why not? You know what I mean? Like it's like I said, you're paying the same price for the movie all the same, so you're getting more entertainment time, the value for your money. You know what I mean? It makes more sense from that regard. So I mean, I don't know. I was trying to think of it in terms of, I mean, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. You're paying for your time of being entertained. So a 3-hour movie is not different from going to a sporting event that's 2.5, 3 hours, or a concert. Most bands aren't going to play for 3 hours, unless you're like Bruce Springsteen or Pearl Jam or something. They don't play for that long. So, and
How
you're
long did
paying
Kiss
much.
play when you guys went?
They like an hour and a half, 2 hours,
hour and a half,
something
2
like
hours,
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had typically a headliner of a show. If it's all their tour, their concert, they're not like a festival or something. They're going to play for, like I said, hour and a half, 2 hours. So really, and it's going to see a movie, even though the
Pearl
prices
Jam
have gone up.
does a 3-hour concert, but people don't mind because it was a good even flow.
Yeah. Here you go. Nice. That was nice. Good job, Dad. Yeah, I like that. It's nice. But yeah, I mean, movies, even though the price has gone up, it's still far less than that of what you would pay for a sporting event or a concert. So, I mean, yeah, I think just it's a good value. It's your time being entertained. And I mean, I don't know. I was trying to think of this question earlier today, and I was thinking to myself, when I was a kid, I used to watch movies over and over and over again. And like, I don't know the last movie that I've seen like more than twice, like multiple times. So, and I'm like, the longer a movie runs, the less likelihood I ever have to see it again. Like the Avengers, like the Endgame, and I saw them each once in the theater. I'll probably never watch them again. Maybe someday, but like, I don't know. I saw it. I know what happens. And it's like,
you don't have cable. So that's one of those, if I'm flipping through, I'll catch it wherever it's
stop with it on. Yeah. And that would be maybe different. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't see a problem with the longer movies because, like I said, it's the experience, and I think as long as the product is good, it's a great value for your money and your time. So, I don't know. That's just me.
Okay. Dean, what do you think?
If they make another 3-hour movie, I'm going to burn this podcast to the goddamn ground.
I thought it was already on fire. I did.
No, kind of like Nick. I agree that it's something for everybody. Some people enjoy that 3-hour, cinematic experience. And if it's dog shit, well, that's the thing. I think it's very rare if you're doing a 3-hour movie, there's a good chance, like, it's good. Does that, you know what I mean? Like, name, like, the last shit 3-hour movie that was panned by everybody.
Well, I can't think of one that was panned by people necessarily. No, you're right.
But yeah, some people's gonna dislike. Like I would never go see what was the goddamn blue movie? This fighting Smurf movie you guys like?
Avatar.
Avatar. Yeah. Because it was so long, I would never go see it. It's not my cup of tea. I don't need running action cartoon characters. But Oppenheimer, I was all in because I love the history and all that. Martin Scorcese film, I'll go see. It's hit or miss for the superhero movies, like Avatar, or if there's a Marvel 3-hour movie. Now the Avengers, like Nick said, was a little different. That was like everything coming together.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it really depends. Yeah, I think there should be 3-hour movies because there is the audience. Somebody's going to watch. Somebody wants to see that long and have that 3-hour experience in the movie. It just depends on the movie and depends on the audience.
Some of those Batman movies were long, eh? Like The Dark Knight was long. It wasn't 3 hours,
The Batman
but it
was long.
over 2.5. Was the bat? Yeah, that's right. It was a really long
pushing
movie.
3 hours too.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was
that's
really
proof
entertaining.
that
Though.
you can just
Yeah.
spend 3 hours of staring at a turd on the floor.
The Batman? No, that's a good movie.
Oh, I thought
What do
you were. Oh, I got it confused with the. What was the first Christian Bale?
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. Should have
Yes.
ended there.
That one
Yeah.
wasn't that, but well, then we wouldn't have had The Dark Knight, and that was like one of the greatest superhero movies of all time.
Again, superimpose anybody else doing Batman. It was everything around it that made that movie good.
Yeah.
Not Christian Bale.
So is Hollywood? I mean, are we? To get back to the topic for a second, are we?
For just a moment, if I
Yeah.
may.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the Golden Bachelor again for a second here.
Also, Dean hates Christian Bale.
No.
Just if we forgot.
Yeah, but I do want to see Oppenheimer. One key
Can we
reason.
pause and talk about Night Court?
Sure, why not? One key reason I didn't go to the theater to see it because it was long. It was too long. It was too long. I didn't find the time to think to myself, I'm going to go invest my entire evening in the theater. You know what I'm saying?
That is a good point.
So
But
is
that's
Hollywood?
3 hours.
I can't.
I mean,
but
3 hours
still.
isn't the. I mean, I guess
Now
if you're,
wait.
It's a
if
good
you're
chunk
bills
of
and
your
going to
evening.
sleep at
You go to the
8 p.m.,
theater,
like,
previews. It's 3.5 plus hours plus the commute. It's 4 hours. You get into 4 hours. That's your evening for the most
they're
part.
already wearing
right?
Depends. What the fuck's the problem?
But you know what I'm saying. So is Hollywood? Hollywood's trying to bring people back in the fucking theater, right?
Yes.
They are deterring themselves in some respects, not many. In some
No.
respects, in the average moviegoer, is the average moviegoer going to go sit and watch a movie for 3 hours? I don't think so. It's a very, like you said, a very unique audience, which is fine. And
But
those
that's
that
who
go
they're
see it,
making
I'm
them
sure
for.
very okay. But are you then? But again, are you then? You're trying to bring people back in the theater to turn around and pay writers and actors. Are you hurting yourself by putting these long blockbuster movies like this
No,
out
because it's you got to think about it. It's one theater. You know, normally it's very rare these days to have like one theater movie complex. You know what I mean? They have like 8 movie theaters.
Sure, I get
one
that.
of those is going to be the 3-hour film. The other ones are going to be Five Nights at Freddy and Freddy Got Fingered and whatever other Freddy movies I can think of right now.
But the
And then
money
you
that
have
you're
the one devoted to Oppenheimer that's 3 hours. That's an experience, so to speak.
I suppose. I mean, but
Yeah.
but again, I'm sure that's a lot of money to produce those big blockbuster type movies. Are you really
Okay.
getting your money back for those? I
Yeah,
don't.
are you sacrificing? Because that was
Yeah.
a good point. I didn't think about that because I'm like, let's just say I show up to a movie theater and I'm like, I've got some time to kill this evening. I've got nothing going on, and I'm looking.
You ain't watching a 3-hour movie.
Right. Well, unless that's what you want to see. Like I had zero interest in seeing
That's
Oppenheimer. If I show up to the theater and see Oppenheimer and I already don't give a shit to see it, I'm indifferent to it. But I also, it's 3 hours. It's out immediately. Like I already don't care about it. Now I'm not gonna take a 3-hour chance on a movie I don't care about.
You
know
just
what I mean?
explained. That's the same way I feel about the
Avatar.
Avatar.
Yes,
I
right.
had whatever previews could not make me go see that movie. Then you say it's 3 hours. I'm like, of course I'm not going to see it.
Right.
Okay.
That's why there's another theater.
But yeah, then
across the hall.
are you sacrificing? What if I end up liking Oppenheimer, or what if you end up liking Avatar, but we just were put off by the 3-hour mark? That's kind of the at the end of the day, the argument there, right? Is like, is it a good idea?
But
Are you putting
I think
off
that's going to be a
bringing
small
people
group of
in?
people. Well, okay.
Yeah.
For example, you want to look at Oppenheimer. How much money did it make?
It did well.
It didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well. I mean, it did very well. It was like, what, number 2 for the year so far?
I do want to see it. I do want to see the new Martin Scorcese film. I just don't know that I'm going to
Go to see it in the
want
theater.
to sit in the theater for that long. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or with streaming, is it easier to wait for a few weeks and then watch it
Right.
over a few nights and
Well,
break it down? Or
right.
like Justice League. There you go.
Yeah.
There it
Oh,
is.
boy.
You asked the question. What was the last 3-hour movie that you didn't like? That one. Like, just
Yeah,
like, I'm like,
that's
fuck
right.
me. Like,
You're talking about
The second one. I'm like, geez, I didn't like it the
Snyder
first time,
Cut.
and now I'm watching it again, and it's longer. And oh my god! Like,
first of all, it was 4 hours.
Yeah,
fuck,
that's right.
Yeah, right. So it's like a
And
mini series.
ridiculous.
Like,
I watched it all the way through, straightforward.
yeah, we
Well,
broke it down
didn't take a
over a
break.
couple different. Like, because I did appreciate that. I like that they separated it in like segments. There was like chapters. There were segments.
Yeah.
They would take a little
Yeah.
break, and it was a good place to be like, pause here. Okay, you know
See,
what I mean.
all
So
I did was
that was
I
cool.
went and pissed. That was it.
Hmm.
I watched it all the way through, and I enjoyed it.
Well, the average person has like hobbies and multiple friends and different things like that. You know what I mean?
Things to
So-
do.
What are those things called? What do you how do you frines?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, to kind of track these long movies. And you're right. Chances are they're not going to. The studio's not going to allow a mediocre 3-hour movie to be. They just won't
Right.
allow it.
Right.
Martin Scorcese says, "I want to make a 3-hour film." They had The Irishman as well. Was it Irish? Is that what it was? Irishman on
Yeah.
Netflix was in a theater
Yep.
too. That was good. It was a good movie. Yeah, like good backside. So we'll see. But it is though. I think for the average moviegoer, I do believe it is a deterrent.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see. Of course, like you said, some people are like, I'm tired of the superheroes. I'm gonna go see some blockbuster film. It's a good movie.
Right.
I don't want to watch fucking Captain America on the screen anymore. I'm done, or at least I'm not that interested in it. So yeah, we'll see. It is an interesting
It is literally
dynamic.
come to the phrase
Go ahead.
"to each his own."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like,
All right,
like,
well,
like Nick so eloquently put it earlier.
Mhm.
Netflix. You don't like it? Go buy it.
True. Yep. All right, we'll see.
Word,
We'll
turd.
see. That's right. Well, some of these long blockbuster movies, if we want to see somebody on the screen, like you say, we're probably going to go see it regardless, no matter how long the movie is. And I know some pop culture people out there, some actors, etc. If they're in a movie, I know a few that, if they're on the big screen, we're going to go see it regardless how long the movie is, because we just idolize that actor or person, whatever it is. And that is going to be our main topic this evening, guys. Here we're going to talk about we're going to give you our idiot Mount Rushmores of our favorite pop culture idols.
You see how effortless that segue was, Dean? You see how Brian just didn't have to force it, and it just happened naturally?
It took 48 words, but he got there.
Yep. If you listen to the show at all, you probably could name a couple of ours on our list right now, but we're going to share them with you anyway.
We're going to take a break so Brian can take a nap now.
Terminator 2, a future warrior brought back to save our world. His mission, to destroy the evil T-1000. In his mobile assault vehicle, Terminator scours the streets for his deadly foe. Adios, amigo. It's the ultimate confrontation as power-armed Terminator faces certain death, only to return stronger and more powerful as Techno-Punch Terminator. Hasta la vista, baby. Terminator 2. I'll be back.
4, 3.
Hey there, and welcome back to segment number 3 of Convincing Idiots. This is Millennial Nick, along with Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean. And guys, we just celebrated 3 years together a couple weeks ago doing this podcast, and we gushed a little bit over one another and how much we enjoy being around each other. But I just gotta say, you guys are just a couple of my heroes when it comes to podcasting. At least one of you are, certainly editing, but definitely, you guys are really up there. I admire you. Much like we have our own personal Mount Rushmores, if you will, as we like to do here, our own favorite pop culture heroes. We are a pop culture podcast. Why not discuss some of our all-time pop culture heroes? Now, when discussing this, gentlemen, this can be This could be an actor or a performer or any type of thing within the realm of pop culture. It could be because of the character that they play. It could be because of characters. It could be because
Could be the
of who they...
character
A
itself.
multitude. Yeah, it could be a multitude of different things. But we're talking about heroes in pop culture. If it's a performer, if it's a character they've portrayed, anything of the sort. It's very loosey-goosey here. You make your own rules. We are going to discuss who are on your pop culture Mount Rushmore. So I'm going to start off, if you guys don't mind.
We do, but go ahead.
First off, I'm straight up innovation. There are many performers that are very inventive in the ways that they maybe get a character across. Perhaps when they read a script, it comes off a certain way. But there are a few performers who do an outstanding job as taking a character and really putting their own personality into it and making their own, making the character their own. And it doesn't even always have to be a character. Sometimes it can just be a product or a product line. Some great innovators that I know of are our friends at RPM Bike Shop. What they have done with the electric bike industry alone would put them on a Mount Rushmore of innovation and of a pop culture hero, I think, because the traditional bicycle, ladies and gentlemen, that we usually think of, it is changing, it is evolving, and the electric bike is the newest staple in that. What an incredible character to be played as the electric bike. Our friends at RPM Bike Shop have a multitude of fantastic products that they can offer you. All you have to do to see them is go to their website, rpmbikeshop.com. View the pictures, check out how they can help you out today. You can also see that and ways to contact them on their Facebook page. So type in the Facebook search bar, just RPM Bike Shop. If you want to drive on over there and you're located in northeastern Ohio, they're not too far away. They're in Carrollton, Ohio, or you can give them a call. 330-808-7792 to see if they belong on your personal Mount Rushmore of pop culture heroes today. RPM Bike Shop. Get yourself an electric bike today. There you go.
That read was electrifying.
Thank you. Ooh, nice. Nice. That's a pylon. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know I like that. All right.
So,
So, Dean, why don't you actually kick us off here? You give us your first official entry. Not that I don't respect RPM Bike Shop, but for the interest of the, this is me introducing you to RPM Bike Shop. So the rest of my list will be, certainly people you're more familiar with. But go ahead, start us off.
well, if they've been listening to us for the 3 years, they should be familiar with RPM Bike Shop. But my first entry onto the Mount Rushmore of my fictional heroes, right? So I'm going to start out with, when you're younger, you gravitate towards people you connect with, people you look up to. What makes a hero? Somebody that embodies all of that for a young mind. And mine, of course, was Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny taught me, how to have the quick comeback. He taught me that the little guy can put the carrot in the gun and reverse the roles in life. Bugs Bunny.
So you just you didn't retain it though? You just kind of you saw it.
Bugs Bunny is a hero and an icon to many, and I am just one of those many. So Bugs Bunny is first on my Mount Rushmore fictional heroes.
Also taught Dean Nick how that he enjoys dressing up as Carmen Miranda.
But you got to learn somewhere, right? I mean, I'll never apologize for that.
Yep, that's right. Yep,
I can feel free and busty and eat delicious fruit from my head. Come on,
it's pretty good. I like it.
Pretty good. Can't hate that. Can't hate that.
Sure can.
He was questioning if I knew who she was. I know he was.
I know you know the cartoons. I know you know who that would be. That's one of his more famous, actors or actresses he dressed up as. Good stuff.
Brian, who you got?
The first one I was just talking a bit off camera. I'm starting to watch there's a new special on Netflix about his life story. Sly, Sylvester Stallone. So Sly is on Netflix. It's a interesting story. I'm about an hour into it. It's like an hour and 45 minutes. Giving it a background on how he got into acting, his family life. I didn't really realize how tough his father was, abusive, really. His father was with him and his brother Frank. Overcame a lot of odds to get into the acting business. And Rocky was a picture that almost did not get made. He really kind of banked on himself to direct and write it and star in this movie, and he could have made a lot of money by just selling the script. He decided he's going to go for it and star in it, and obviously it was a hit. He had some clunkers after that movie, and got back on track with Rocky 2, and that was it. As the rest is history for him. So just a very interesting man, and I love to hear those type of stories where someone he had to work hard to make it. He did not come from a background in the business. He had to just decide, I'm going to make this work. And so just something that I admire his story. I've always admired him as an actor. Is it fun? I love his movies, and I still like seeing him on stuff today, whether it be other movies or just him talking about what's important in life, and he's a family man, the whole bit. So Sly is on my pop culture icon Mount Rushmore.
I mean, does it get any better than Stop or My Mom Will Shoot? It doesn't.
I mean, he had some movies that were like, okay, not the best, certainly,
Yeah.
But some of his
Getty
movies
and
growing
Sylvester Stallone? Come on, man. That was fucking gold.
It should have been comedy gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did love that movie when I was a kid.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
He will shit on his own hero just to shit on me. That's good.
Well, you gotta have priorities.
I would.
If you don't have your principles, what do you have?
He would say, "Is that one of your better movies or not?" So he probably would say, "It wasn't quite as good, but we were proud of it." Anyways, all right. Nick, how about you? I have one idea. Who one person who might be on your list. I don't know if you're going to say it yet or not, but go ahead.
I think I know that too.
Well, I'll just start here. This is the whole reason that I had this idea in the first place. And it kind of is in step with Brian's last submission. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sure.
You can't have all I have to say, really, I'll go on a little more, I'll elaborate. You can't have a pop culture Mount Rushmore and leave out the leading man in Jingle All the Way. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Phil Hartman is on your list?
He gave us Jingle All the Way, so, I mean, there you go. But no,
it's in the National Congress, Library of Congress, I think. As well,
I believe it is, as it should be. Yeah,
it should be if it's not. But
it should be. But no, I won't go on too long. I've spent many previous episodes gushing over Arnold Schwarzenegger. I absolutely adore the man. I don't know that there's a single person quite like him, that like someone that is a complete fucking stranger to me, that means so very much to me, so deeply as he does. I just admire. What's that?
What about your dad?
The people that I don't know that mean so much to me. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I hear good things about him too. It's just, but like Arnold, man, I don't know. I just, no, it's just it's so many different facets to it. From just a standpoint of admiration, I admire the hell out of just all the different phases of his career. Similar to Sly, the rough upbringing, very poor, had this dream of always, moving to America and becoming
gambling on yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, for sure. Making it happen with bodybuilding and being enamored with that, and then going, okay, I've done everything in bodybuilding. Right, exactly. Yeah, I've done everything with hunters. Now I'm going to go antagonize this cartoon character, and but he's done everything there's to do with bodybuilding. Goes in, he wants to be a leading man. You can't be a leading man. Accent's too thick. Schwarzenegger. Nobody's ever going to say it. Forget about it. Fuck it. Does it anyway. You know what I mean? Just and doesn't matter that he's too big, and now makes being big, the in thing to do at the time, be an action hero, and regardless, is he the most incredible actor you've ever seen? No, but I will say I've seen him in a lot of roles too that I was like pretty damn good. I mean, especially given the circumstances, he's just incredible movies, and regardless of if he was a good actor or a great actor or whatever. The roles he picked were incredible. He's in probably his collection of pop culture relevant movies is got to be just unmatched. Whether it's Terminator or Predator or what, I mean, it's just like he's had so many hit movies, and then he went from action, did comedy movies, and there's a lot of family movies in there, and just keeps reinventing himself, and then taking public office and being the governor of California, and I just admire the absolute hell out of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I adore the man, and there really is nobody that I quite idolize. There's no one I idolize the way I do Arnold Schwarzenegger. So yeah, in a nutshell, there it all is.
You should pick up a weight or two.
I try. I think about it sometimes because of Arnold. I do. It crosses my mind.
Dean, what do you got?
All right, I'm going to actually. I know you guys are going kind of the route of actors portraying, but I'm going on the idea of character still, right? And this character for me, when I was a child, he was humorous. He was witty, but in the background of hell. The advertisement that this character had to show, and the stuff he had to overcome, and the way he did it with poise and comedy, and I'm talking about Hawkeye from MASH, Dr. Benjamin Franklin Pierce. To me, when I was a kid, I even understood as a kid, that all of these jokes were masking the horrors of war going on around him. To me, that was a hero. Was helping the people, even though his how he felt about the war itself. He was there just trying to help the soldiers coming through the hospital, right? And and the way he did it, and with compassion, and I mean, I could even get into actually Alan Alda himself being an activist and a writer and actor and director and all that. But I'm going to stick with Dr. Benjamin Franklin Pierce, Hawkeye from MASH, is my next. So that's my number 2.
Great character for sure. Well, Nick, I'll just add on to you. Arnold was on my list as well, so I'll just we'll continue your thought for a second. So, all the same reason you like Arnold. I mean, I'm a big fan as well.
I have
become more of a fan over the years. I said, loved his movies growing up. His movies are very popular, along with Sly with me. In high school and as a young guy. But what I like about him too is that he's made mistakes. He's admitted those. That's fine. It takes a lot to do that. But I like how these guys have continued. Really Sly too, but he just continues to evolve. And he's like, I'm an older man now, and one of his missions is to just try to be a positive presence out there and send positive messages for people, not only in fitness, but in other things in life. He just got his book and everything. So I just admire that about any human that's just like, what, I'm just trying to create some positivity out there and just motivate somebody in somehow, some way to do something.
Want to help.
Yeah, to help, right. I was super motivated as a person, as Arnold, and then I'm trying to pass it on to other people and hopefully make their lives a little bit better. I love all that stuff. I love the message. I love his podcast, the whole bit. Probably not me personally, no.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But that's it. So yeah, several reasons beyond the fact that I love a lot of his movies. So good stuff.
Yeah.
So Arnold, on my Idiot Mount Rushmore.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
All right. Get in the chopper and give this
my next one is someone very specific to me. This gentleman has had a major hand in my childhood and a lot of the characters and creations and things that have followed me through my life. My what?
Your left?
My left? No, I'm a righty. Anyway.
Prove it.
Anyway, Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane, if you're not familiar, comic book creator, co-created the character of Venom, created Spawn, which has been the longest running comic book, original comic book in the history of comics. and it doesn't even just stop at comics or the character creations. The figures, the toys that they're hanging all over my basement bar here. The hockey figures he made growing up, and the football, NBA sports picks, and all that stuff. The music that he's worked with, he made music videos for Pearl Jam and Korn and Disturbed, and he just has his hands in every. He seems like, to me, he has the coolest life. Like anything that he's interested in, it's like he can do it. If it's sculpting of the figures, or it's drawing comics, or he's another one. He's always putting out daily Instagram videos where it's just cool shit, or he's showing you how he draws stuff, or different, giving you tutorials on how to draw things. And I just think he's a really interesting guy.
Follow him.
He was an innovator. He was an innovator in his style. He has a very remarkable style. And when he first started working at Marvel and taking over as drawing in The Amazing Spider-Man, the way he did the webbing was very, he put so much detail in it. It was really groundbreaking at the time. I love Todd McFarlane. He's very involved in all the things that I'm interested in. It's whether he's in comics and music and sports, and I don't know. I just think he's a really cool guy. He seems like he just has the coolest life, and decided he was one that he worked at DC for a while. He worked at Marvel for a while, and then he had the courage to just simply say, I don't want to be under control of any label. I want to do what I want to do. And if I want to make a storyline dark, or I want to do this, I'm going to do it. So he branched out and helped start Image Comics, and Spawn's been a massive success. And he's still doing Spawn, which started in 1992. Was issue 1. So I just think it's really cool that he's just kind of played by his own rules, and he's made a career of not even just having to pick one lane. He's got his hands in many different things and excels at all of them. And Todd McFarlane has been a major presence in my life since I was about 9 or 10 years old. So, but yeah, Todd McFarlane.
That's a good one. Yeah, I remember I was collecting comics pretty regularly back then. Spider-Man was always one I collected. I remember when that issue came out, when Todd McFarlane was a new artist, and instantly on the cover, I'm like, what is this? This is different, completely different. And like you said, the whole style was very interesting and different. Arguably one of the greatest. He drew arguably one of the greatest Spider-Man covers in my book of all time. When he did Spider-Man #1, he had his own book for a while, Spider-Man #1. Yeah, and Spider-Man's kind of sitting there with all the webbing. There's T-shirts of it and everything else right now. So.
Yeah, and it's got his. I actually specifically, when I bought it, I made sure that it had the little mark of his signature. Because some of them, when they reprint, they don't put the artist's name or whatever. They'll do different versions. They'll have the actual imagery. But it was very important to me when I bought the shirt that I have with that comic cover on it, that it's got the McFarlane stamp on it. But I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yep.
Excellent.
Okay. Very good.
All right. Dean.
All right. Again, I'm going to stick with characters.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't remember the rotation. Yes, it is your turn. Sorry.
I'm going to stick with characters because, well, the actor has a lot to be desired.
Kevin Spacey.
No.
I'm just going to say that. That's funny.
No, not Kevin Spacey.
My next one is
this guy isn't as problematic as Kevin Spacey. But the character itself is bold. He's genuine, informative. He brings the best out of not only the other characters around him, but also the audience watching. He gives something special to the universe in which he holds, and it's just captivating is the word that I would use. I'm gonna go for my number 3 on my Mount Rushmore of fictional heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going the Podlander, the Statman, Brian Fisher.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Again, the actor, problematic. We don't really want to talk about him, but the character, fantastic.
He does keep letting you show back up each and every week, so
that's true.
He's got his faults, but
let's not talk about the actor. I don't want to say the word garbage for the actor, but some use it. Some use it. I want to go a little better, but Brian, Statman, the Podlander is my number 3.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's very, very flattering. Thank you very much.
He's definitely got his hands in a lot of pop culture, and his influence is strong.
That's right.
He fisted me earlier.
There you go. There you go. And I have, I did star in I was a member of a Thanksgiving play back in first grade. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed.
I heard there's some
theater background as well.
I heard there's some adult films
right.
if we can get our hands on them are delightful.
There's a very young me wearing like a fucking like fake pilgrim's hat and everything. I have to find that picture. And,
is that the first grade or the adult film I was talking about?
It could be both. Same hat. Same hat.
These cornfields sure could use plowed.
That's right.
Mister, why are you backing into the corn cob?
Did you see this movie? I think these are actual dialogue from the movie.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll talk about that another time. Okay, I have Dolly Parton on my list.
It's a real good one.
I just the more you learn about Dolly Parton,
pick, but all right.
Thank you. Yeah, right. No, we've talked about Dolly Parton several times on this podcast as well. But the more you learn about her,
saint on earth.
Hey, I just think she's so cool, man. Again, another artist. I don't even really listen to her music a whole bunch. I really need to do that more. She has a new rock album coming out with all kinds of really awesome lineup. Tons of people are on this album with her. After she got put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, she decided, well, I guess I need to make a rock album, and just fucking did it. Why not?
It's just her doing covers.
I don't know about that, but no, it's just again another person had to work hard to make it, and just another. I mean, she had to overcome. I have to imagine the ridiculous, nuts, crazy shit that she had to contend with just from her looks, because she's a beautiful woman with a very shapely lady and all this and that. And just
Nick, he has to
probably
do the exact same thing.
Exactly. There's probably horrible things that she heard and had to deal with, but she chose to let that stuff empower her, and she could make fun of herself, and like you say, just the philanthropy and everything that she's done over the years. I just think it's a very admirable person, and definitely. She's made our list of people in the past on this show that, just people in general that would just love to hang out with. Nothing weird, or just to sit at a bar and have a couple of beers with Dolly Parton would be a fantastic time, I'm sure. So, Dolly Parton, gentlemen.
Good call.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Nick?
My next one is Lorne Michaels.
Sure.
Lorne Michaels, has his hands in a lot of things. He's a producer, and he's behind the scenes of a lot of comedy properties and things like that, and certainly different cast members of SNL over the years that have branched out and had their own shows or their own, creative endeavors. But obviously, Lorne Michaels started Saturday Night Live, and the thing that I think is so incredible, and I think it all the time. I've watched SNL religiously since I was probably around 9, 10, 11 years old. What I find so insane, and now that on Peacock there is an actual channel that is just SNL 24/7 all the time, and it's throughout the years, just different randomly. Sketches could have been from last week, could have been from the 70s. It's just they're peppered in. It's at random all the time. They're constantly running. Comedy changes over time, and I've learned that a lot especially from watching that or watching old movies, that either ones that I used to enjoy and then I watch again and I go, oh, okay, it's different now, or movies that I never saw that were hilarious or
listening
whatever.
To this podcast,
and then you're like, okay, it's just comedy evolves, and I think it's so admirable and just frankly incredible that regardless of if you think, I liked it better 10 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever your humor is, the fact is it's still relevant. All these years in, this is season number 49 or something like that, that they are able to evolve and connect with a current audience through all those years, I just think is insane. And it's the same guy. It's Lorne Michaels, he's not writing every sketch. They have writers, but it would be so easy for someone at the helm of a property like that to go, now we're branching. I don't like this. That's not my comedy. We're gonna do this, and easily, become outdated.
Well,
But
there was
Lorne
only one
Michaels,
season that he wasn't there, and it fucking almost got canceled.
yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, he is. It takes a lot to understand, to kind of have that understanding that you need to lean on people around you and to put the show above maybe. I mean, I don't know what his. That's the kind of the ironic thing about Lorne Michaels. If you ever hear him speak or watch him in an interview, he's a very dry man. He does not seem like the gentleman who would be in charge of a comedy mecca for nearly 50 years. But it's kind of funny that and I don't know. I think it's really admirable that he's been able to maintain SNL status and keep it current for all this time. I just think it blows my mind every time I think about it. Lorne Michaels is on my list. He's on my pop culture Mount Rushmore.
Excellent.
Icon.
Very good.
Ding.
Good call. All right. I'm going to. This will be simple. You guys have heard me talk about him before. The character is inspirational. The character is wholesome, down to earth. Nick had briefly mentioned him in something earlier.
Foghorn Leghorn.
With slightly less undertone of
quite
racism.
inspirational.
No, I'm going to go with Ted Lasso as on my next step. It just, there's a lot of wisdom, and again, I know it's writing, it's not the actor doing it, but the writing for the show in general, but the writing for him was so delightful. I actually found myself earlier in the summer using a line or a bit from Ted Lasso with my son. When he was playing baseball and he struck out, he was all pissed off. I used "be a goldfish." Goldfish has the memories, for 10 seconds, and then they forget. That's what you got to do. You fuck up, you do something poorly, you do something bad. Be a goldfish. Forget about it. Move on. Start new for the next play, the next whatever. Ted Lasso is a fictional hero of mine.
Nice.
Excellent.
That's a good one.
Tell a bad joke. Doesn't hit. Forget it.
Yep. Be a
Try
goldfish.
again.
Move on. Yep.
Be a goldfish. That's how I run. That's how I do this podcast.
Forget it. Yep. Move on.
Did you say fat joke?
No, bad joke.
Oh, I was going to say, I would never do a fat joke. Unless it was about myself.
Are you learning from this? Nope.
Nope. Just keep telling bad jokes and keep moving on. Keep telling bad jokes and moving on.
Well, you notice that I do put 10-second increments in between them. So.
That's right. Yep. Harrison Ford's next on my list.
Yeah.
Again, just another guy that certainly portrayed some of my favorite. I know our favorite characters of all time with Han Solo and Indiana Jones, certainly. So just him, his presence on the big screen is, I know we talked about him before too, but as a young kid, his presence on the screen was the first, that's what a fucking man looks like right there. That's a man right there. I'm not a man by far. Someday, when I'm a man, that's what I hope to look like. Well, obviously, I do not, but still,
Didn't
as a
even
young
come
boy,
close.
it was like that's
your vest?
That's
sir?
a man right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go ahead.
I told Megan earlier. I said, in this list, I could easily put Han Solo.
Sure.
Because it's Harrison Ford, and Han Solo, you lie, cheat, and steal get to fuck the princess. Whose hero isn't that?
That's
Right.
pretty good. That's pretty good. No, but him as an actor himself, I mean, he had to make it. He was doing carpentry on sets and different things. Obviously, he was an attractive dude. Great, but he got himself into acting and decided, I'm going to do this. And as we all know, he wasn't even supposed to be Han Solo. He was reading for other actors coming in, reading for the role. And then George Lucas said, you know what, you have something here. Took advantage of the opportunity and took off, and certainly never looked back. So just his backstory, I think every time I see him on anything, I think he's just cool. I think he's also learned over the years not to take himself quite as serious and really embrace the fact that
that's the cool part.
What, I play characters that a lot of people love Han Solo, I may not have been a super fan of this guy, but a lot of people love this character. I'm going to embrace this over time and have fun with it and appreciate it. Come back and obviously play the role again in the last few Star Wars movies. So,
Brian, we could easily do. Each of us have and separate a Mount Rushmore of Han Solo quotes from movies.
Absolutely,
and we could do. We could fill it up between the three of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So there you go. Harrison Ford.
Nick, fantastic. Next on my list is a comedian who was in a lot of prominent roles, certainly in my childhood, but that's not even the main reason why he's in here necessarily. Jim Carrey is next on my list. Jim Carrey is very unique. I just really found the way that I was scrolling through Instagram the other day just to give you an idea of what I'm trying to say here with my words. I went through there was an Instagram account that showed a young Jim Carrey, and it was him doing impressions just by doing faces. It was like a Robin Williams one and a Clint Eastwood one and he's all these different Sammy Davis Jr. And just by contorting his face, you could tell exactly who he was without even any sound or doing a voice. He was so, and still to this day, is just so unique. Like, there's nobody quite like him. He was almost like something from another planet, the way he was able to physically embody people, to be a morph of sorts of people he was portraying. And certainly his comedy is very off the wall. I used to impersonate him all the time when I was a young kid. Loved his movies, the Ace Ventura movies and stuff like that. He was so zany and weird. Not in Living Color, he stole the show in most things he was ever in. And also, in addition to that, very interesting dude, very thoughtful guy, I feel like every time I hear Jim Carrey speak, I'm like, that's what an artist sounds like. That's how an artist speaks.
I get that.
He's a very interesting guy, and I just adore Jim Carrey. He's another one that, like, when he was younger, he was just so bombastic and crazy and off the wall and zany, and he still is all those things, but in his old age, I just feel like he really has settled into who he is, and he's very introspective, and every time I just can't get enough of listening to, like, Jim Carrey speak on things. I just think he's an interesting guy, a really intelligent guy, and I love that. I love that balance of the comedy and also being able to be serious when there's moments for that, and when it counts. And I love Jim Carrey, so Jim Carrey's on my list.
Yeah, be more like Jim Carrey, Dean.
Yeah, know when to be stupid and when not to be. God.
Gotta give a guy some warning. Come on.
This was all an ambush. Jim Carrey could take him or leave him. This was all just an ambush for Dean.
I get that. All right, so my fifth and final Mount Rushmore of fictional heroes. This gentleman is not he is a character, but it's not playing a character. Much like excuse me, much like Jim Carrey, he just exudes that it factor, right? Always has, always will. When you say brilliance, doesn't even start to begin to state what this guy is, what this guy has, right?
You already said me already, right?
I did. I did. I can't do it twice. Sorry.
Okay.
And no, this guy's work ethic, his professionalism, but yet his brilliance. If you haven't thought about it or guessed it yet, boys and girls, I'm talking about Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, he went through the 80s and with just the brilliance of just he incorporated like everything that the 80s was by stealing from the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the professionalism, he wouldn't go to anybody, or he wouldn't do a song without their permission. He could have. I mean, parody is not, you can do parody and not get sued for it. but he had the respect enough to go to every single artist. And some of them, a lot of them, especially towards the end, it's an honor for him to parody their songs. In fact, Kurt Cobain said the only way he'd let him do it is if he could play guitar on the track. I mean, the tragic story about his parents died in a carbon monoxide poisoning in their home, and they called and let him know like 5 minutes before that he was about to go on. And everybody, there wasn't a person in that goddamn arena that wouldn't have understood him canceling the show with them already sitting in their seats. But he said, nope, I'm going to put it, in the back of my mind. I'll deal with it when I get back. But these people paid to see, Weird Al Yankovic, and that's what they got.
That's pretty cool.
And if you saw the biopic, I mean, he fought a drug cartel. So, I mean, the guy was amazing.
That's right.
I mean,
that is still a good movie, man. If you haven't seen that, you watch it.
I have to ask, because
you have to see it.
You have to see it. It's so
was
good.
that movie an exaggeration of him?
Yes.
Is that 1,000%?
Okay.
Yeah. Big time. Big time.
Like the gist of the movie is real, like in
so it's like
his name.
It's like Weird Al made a Weird Al parody.
That's exactly what it is.
Movie.
That's what it is.
Yes,
100%.
that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Daniel Radcliffe playing him, and
he was a spy at one point. He had a drug problem like every other like 90s or 80s rock band. But again, he's been clean and sober from childhood. Yeah. But for this pick, he got into drugs and he got into women and everything he didn't do. Yeah. Like he was married to Madonna, I think it was.
That's right.
It's so absurd.
Yeah.
And Daniel Radcliffe really just proved me wrong because like as soon as I heard that he was going to play it, I was out. I'm like, no, bullshit. You know what I mean? It just didn't add up. But God damn it. And that's the funny part, too.
It goes into the absurdity of it. Like, it plays into the whole
thing.
That,
because Daniel Radcliffe took his shirt off and he was just jacked.
Yeah.
And obviously Weird Al is not, shredded. Yeah. But yeah, it's so good. But the guy, if you ever hear him in interviews, he is one of the most humble, delightful human beings. As a celebrity goes, you can't get much better. So my final one is Weird Al Yankovic.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Great pick. Yeah, never took himself seriously. And he knew that was part of his appeal, I guess, too. But he genuinely never took himself too seriously, which is fantastic. Yeah.
And he was so broken up when Coolio was actually... When the one person ever got mad at him was Coolio.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like a VMAs thing. And he was... Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. But what you going to do?
Yeah. That's very good one. My fifth one, Keanu Reeves.
That's a good one. Call. I almost put him on mine. Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. That's good.
Honestly, just from his... I mean, I do like his movies.
I
love the John Wick movies. I like the... Bill and Ted. Even I loved him back then. And but all that stuff's great. But just as you get to know the person and all the stuff you see him on interviews and different things, he's just like I know we all agree, but just seems like a genuinely nice man, nice person. He just almost so cool.
He almost has a little bit of that Arnold effect as he's not necessarily the greatest actor. He's fine.
Right.
But he picks the coolest movies. Like, he's in the best movies that you love. And also seems just like a really genuinely good person that you want to root for and you want to get behind. And it's that kind of thing. That's the same reasons I almost put him on mine, is I was just like, I remember saying that about Keanu Reeves. Like, it's not that he's a great actor. He's fine, but he's in cool. He knows how to pick the roles. He's in cool movies always. I mean, and he's cool.
If you don't watch Point Break and just want to fawn over his coolness, like, the chicks are gonna be like, oh my god, he's so beautiful. Like, dude, you're in awe of like how fucking cool he is.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably every movie, really.
Obviously, it's some of the most successful franchise. Between The Matrix and John Wick, those two franchises alone, I mean, just make it a killing in the box office, in part because of his appeal. You know? So anyway, and again, all the videos and everything you see with him with the fans and everything like that, just so awesome. And now he made a comic book that's of a superhero, and he's making a movie apparently as the superhero that he helped create. That's in the comics right now.
There
So
have been these rumors
great.
about him joining the MCU.
Yeah, that would be cool. Should.
He's turned it down a couple times, like because you see those
Right.
things where it's like he's turned down MCU stuff, but like always remember that Keanu Reeves opted to be in the SpongeBob movie as he's in like the SpongeBob movie in like a tumbleweed or something, but they're like he turned down like millions and millions.
Didn't he
of dollars
play God or Jesus or something along those lines?
Something he was like some I didn't see the SpongeBob movie, but I think he's some type of voice of reason or this epiphany they have or something is this voice that gives them guidance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he should.
And he played Duke Kaboom in Toy Story, the Canadian Evel Knievel. You gotta love Duke Kaboom.
Sure.
There you have it. Yeah. All right, so Keanu Reeves for several reasons.
Good.
Yes,
Nikolai, your final draw.
My final submission, I don't have as much to gush over, but I don't need to because this gentleman, I'm just going to say his name and you'd be like, absolutely, hands down, no questions asked. This guy should be very proud. He is only the second non-Canadian to make my list, so that's really saying something. James Earl Jones. He is the voice of Darth Vader. He is the voice of Mufasa. He is the villain in Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones, for whether you agree if he's of the stature or this or that of some of the other ones that any of us have named, the fact of the matter is he, in pop culture, his voice most certainly is unmistakable, undeniable, and irreplaceable. There will never be another James Earl Jones, and I just felt like because of the impact he has had in films and pop culture, I felt like he deserved a spot on my Mount Rushmore as well. So I put James Earl Jones as my final submission.
And let's actually take a moment and realize his brilliance, not just of acting, but just business sense. For Star Wars, George Lucas couldn't pay him what an actor of his caliber was going for. So instead of paying him the $7,000 that it would have taken, he offered, and this is true. I just read this actually yesterday. George Lucas offered him points on the back end of the movie, meaning points on merchandise, points on ticket sales, and he chose to take points rather than get paid for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That is the brilliance of James Earl Jones.
And that's also dumb luck because nobody expected Star Wars to do what it did.
Hey, but who knows? I mean, hey, I'm gushing over his brilliance.
Maybe he saw something in it that was like, this is innovative. Yep. This is cool.
Because I'm doing he actually even considers, if you ever ask him, he doesn't consider himself Darth Vader. He will always say it's David Prowse. He says that he was just a tool for the character, that he was not the character itself. So I think probably in that he's like, well, I just did voiceovers. Yeah, I'll take points. So if they sell a lunchbox, I'll take 2 cents.
Sure,
whatever. I had fun doing the voice, and then boom. Or he could have been a savant and gone, you know what? I see something in this. This is going to be huge. I'm going to become a fucking billionaire because of this. Who knows? Yeah. But that's what happened.
Yeah.
And of course, one of his greatest roles of all time, Coming to America.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
The King. Yep. Absolutely.
Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
People will come, Ray. And people do come every time they hear his voice.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Was that 5 for everybody? We complete
the
15. There we go. All right.
We have done it. You want to recap?
Sure.
Yeah.
My top 5 were Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But go ahead.
Well, I said it. I'm doing it. My pop culture heroes or idols are Arnold Schwarzenegger, Todd McFarlane, Lorne Michaels, Jim Carrey, and James Earl Jones.
Good. Dean?
Mine is Bugs Bunny, Dr. Benjamin Franklin Pierce, Hawkeye from the television show MASH, the the Podlander, the Statman, Brian Fisher, not the actor, but the character, Ted Lasso, and finally, Weird Al Yankovic.
Brian.
Excellent. I also have Arnold, Sly, Harrison Ford, Dolly Parton, and Keanu Reeves.
You
Fantastic.
imagine the orgy Brian's list could have? That's a good looking party there. That's a good looking party.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, just jump in there, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See what you get.
Probably herpes, but
See
still
what you
a lot of fun.
see what you come up with.
That's right. That's right. Well, another place you could jump into and see what you get is at Golden Heart Tattoo in Norton, gentlemen. Jump in there, see what happens. Maybe get yourself a tattoo. Maybe you get something else. I don't know. I've always got tattoos there, but you know, you hear
Come on,
things.
Nick, show 'em
Not
off.
sure. Not sure exactly. Plenty of work done here.
I know.
Scott's done great work on all of us as Greg. I always say his name wrong. Greg.
Yeah.
I always
You
say
said it right
Gary.
there.
It's not Gary. It's Greg. Yeah, Greg.
Gary.
Great work. That's right.
I
Who's this
like Gary.
character?
Gary character.
At Golden Heart Norton on Facebook and ORTON. Look them up online, goldenhearttattoos.com, or give them a call at 234-706-2982. And as Nick mentioned before, it may or may not answer the phone. Just go to the website or the Facebook and look them up there. And
but in person, Scott will French kiss you as you ask him politely.
Sure. Yeah. It's extra, but it's okay. It's good.
Worth it.
That's right. That's right. Gentlemen, we have done. We are trying. We are trying to make your pop culture Mount Rushmore out there someday. One of these episodes, we're going to
get there.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. That's right.
Yours isn't good enough, apparently. He's not satisfied with making yours.
Fuck your list.
Alongside Bugs Bunny. He's like, fuck you.
Both were made in the 30s.
Well, if anybody's going to make somebody's pop culture Mount Rushmore from this podcast, it's probably going to be Millennial Nick. That's what I think anyway.
That's what people love him.
As they should. So, for this episode of Convincing Idiots, we would like to invite you, if you've not already done so, feel free to find us on all your favorite social media accounts. That way you can find pictures of us, maybe copy and paste, put our pictures on your personal Mount Rushmores. You can find all of our social media accounts on our Linktree. Just go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots, Linktree, LINKTREE. You can also find where you can listen to this podcast each and every week. So please like, subscribe, rate, review on all the platforms. Find us on your favorite podcast catcher. You can also find that information and our merch store, so much more on our website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So, for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I am Millennial Nick.
I'm the Zennial Dean.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you to come join us with the ranks of the heroes and idols in your life next week on Convincing Idiots?
Yeah, what's up, Doc? Everybody, Gen X Brian with Millennial Nick and Zennial Dean. We need more people besides Nick's mom watching us. Give us a like and subscribe.
you're falling asleep. You should, you know what I mean? You should wake up. So like I was dreaming in a dream that I had sleep apnea. It was very strange. But you still wake up in a panic. Like, was I not breathing or was that a dream? I couldn't tell. But the thing is also when I woke up, I wasn't out of breath. You know what I mean? Like you would have been if that would have happened. Did Nick not care about my story so much that he fucking left?
Turn off the lights.
Holy shit.
I don't need to listen to your shit. You're going to die in your sleep anyway. I mean, what am I going to put up? What, do I got to invest more in this friendship when you're not even going to be around that much longer? Like, what the fuck?
I'm glad we're recording this because if it happened tonight, what an amazing fucking bit of tape this would be.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Nick
I'll come back.
crying and no, I'm hot in your ass.